Yeah.
What changed between the first and second half, specifically with BJ?
Well, he didn't play very well in the first half, that's for sure. You can go 1 for 7. Second half, we had to take all the starters out. We had to keep him in because he's our only point guard left, so we had to, it was going to take him out too. But when our starters gave up 5 out of the first 6 possessions, the other team scored, and we went to the bench and put the whole new lineup in. And BJ started playing much harder, much better. He played a great second half. He set the all-time steals record single season tonight at 4 steals, at 7 assists, only 1 turnover, and 16 points. So, tale of 2 halves. BJ played incredible basketball for the last 20 minutes.
Yeah. Andy, you went through this. The pace of the game was far different, but equally stressful. You went through this with USC in this tournament against UNC Asheville about 6-7 years ago. And so when you're playing against a team like this at home that has kind of that nothing to lose kind of mentality, what was kind of your approach with your team coming into a game like this, knowing what they were, you went through because you went through this?
Well, I think it's very disappointing that our guys were really upset after the Clemson loss in the ACC tournament. Beat Syracuse the first game, had the lead on Clemson. We had a shot to win it with 5 seconds left and missed a 3. Then we had an out-of-bounds call overturned and a goaltending call that wasn't goaltending. So we were disappointed when we didn't beat Clemson because we thought we had to win that game to give us a real chance at the tournament. So I don't think anybody was really excited to practice the last couple of days. In fact, our practices were very short. It is a different mindset, but the NIT is a heck of a tournament. It's a national tournament. Every game's on ESPN2. Tonight was on ESPN2. So, and it's a chance to extend your career of 5 seniors. So we tried to make the point to our guys, and I think they appreciate that. They want to play. They're hoopers, and they want to play basketball. So. It's a chance for some of the young underclassmen to keep getting better, and some of the older classmen, upperclassmen, to extend their careers. So it is challenging. You saw what happened to Georgia Tech last night at home. They lost by 15 or 18 points, and then sometimes we didn't have Boopy today, so it was a little challenging with the ball handling, especially in the first half. So we're happy to be here, and we'll play a really good athletic Oklahoma State team who's playing well right now.
Any update you can give on Boopy?
Yeah, he has a hand injury. It's not his foot, it's his hand. So we hope he's back for the weekend. Obviously, we're a better team with him because he is our leading scorer, leading assist guy. So he's our fastest guy. So our pace of play certainly speeds up when he's on the floor.
Yeah, so talking about BJ, and when you were missing Boopy, during the regular season, it seemed like BJ definitely had to kind of learn a little bit more about how to take on that primary ball handling role. Can you kind of talk about how he's improved in that regard and how he's able to?
I think you saw in the second half, he started second half when we changed the lineup up and brought Johan, and he was able to get Johan the ball twice in the post, once off a ball screen, once a transition, and get some assists. So the next development of BJ's game is decision making and the timing of his passes, where he can see the floor, and also when he goes left and right, he has to be equally good going left and right, and not just good going to his right hand, because teams start shading him to his left. So I thought in the second half he was very impressive with his playmaking, and that's the next step in his game.
You've talked all year about how many things Boopy Miller does for you, points, assists, etc. Obviously, you'd love to have had him at every game, but does the fact that you missed him for 5 games earlier, did that help you and your team navigate tonight?
Well, I think it was a little shock, because when we went in that 5-game stretch without him, we didn't know how to play without him. And we had Wake Forest, and unfortunately Clemson coming in here, and then we go on the road to Stanford, who Boopy gave a lot of trouble with his speed. So I think tonight, not playing with Boopy, the guys are used to it, or not used to it, but they played already 5 games without him, so it wasn't a shock to them like it was when he first went out, because at that time we were 19-5 and won 5 in a row, and Boopy was playing great, and everybody else was playing great. And then when you take one of your better players out at that time and playing very good basketball teams, it was a shock to everybody, including us as coaches, because we had to try to figure out how to adjust our offense and defense without a key guy.
Could you sense your length and athleticism getting on top of this game with about 6-7 minutes to go when you guys went on that initial run to go 59-52?
Yeah, Northern Iowa's a very, very good basketball team. They space the floor. They're cutting all the time. They're very good shooters. They have good big guys. You saw the big guys can finish. They're big. They're 6'11", 6'8", 6'7". But I thought we had the advantage athletically and in our speed, and obviously without Boopy, we didn't play as fast as we normally do. But I'm very proud of our guys because we started switching everything, like you said, late in the second, mid to late in the second half. And when we started switching everything, you could really see our length and athleticism affect the game.
Well, speaking of switching, I mean, they go up 45-39, you called the timeout with about 17 minutes to go, and you make wholesale changes with your lineup. Was that just kind of like a...
Because they just scored five out of 6 times, our starters were not giving any effort.
Right.
So if we're going to lose, then we're going to lose with the guys that are playing hard.
I mean, I was gonna say, was that like a come to Jesus moment with your guys there, just to get them to kind of resettle everything?
Yeah, I think when you put Yo on and Keon and AJ and Tibet in, and we left BJ in, they were playing very hard, and actually I think cutting the lead maybe by 1 or 2 points because Northern Iowa had a couple tough shots, but we were scoring as well, and we were playing hard. So when the starters came back in, you could see their effort increase, and then the crowd got into it because we were playing well, and I thought that all snowballed into a big run for us.
How big is that when it could go the other way when they've made that run to start the second half? It could have snowballed against you guys, but for this veteran group to kind of respond that way.
I was proud of them because when they came back in, they played much harder, much more efficiently, and it could go the other way very quickly. That's why I felt like I had to call timeout after six terrible defensive possessions.
It seems like when a team can survive this opening round of a tournament like this, their standard of play maybe picks up. Do you hope that's what you're going to get from these guys now that they've won?
Yeah, I hope. You asked the question before. I think the first game is always the hardest,
Yeah.
especially when you're devastated about not devastated, but you feel like you're an NCAA tournament team. You don't make it, and look, we had something to do with that. We could have won another game or two. No, we had Boopy go out for 5 games at the wrong time of the season.
Right.
But that all adds up to the mentality of. So I think this game was probably our hardest mentally. Now I think our guys are, hey, we have a chance to keep winning games and try to compete for a championship.
For the last couple months, you've been playing all your conference opponents who you see on TV, and even you see when they've played other teams in advance, so there's a familiarity level there. When you play a team like Northern Iowa that you just found out a few days ago, can you describe how that alters or truncates your scouting, your prep?
Well, we had never watched them play until the video the last 2 days, and we realized very quickly they're a good basketball team, and so our players they've been around. We've got some veteran guys. They've played against all types of different teams, so Northern Iowa we prepared like we did for an ACC team, and we knew what Northern Iowa could beat us if we didn't play well, and so. Oklahoma State's now it's different. They're in the Big 12. We scrimmaged them early in the season. That was before we didn't have our whole roster, so it'd be different. It was we went up to Oklahoma State in the preseason. I thought it was very very good for our team. They're very athletic, so our guys know who Oklahoma State is because they're in the Big 12 and they're 4 hours away. So I think it should be a heck of a game on the weekend.
Anything else?
Does anybody know when we play? Have they released it yet?
I don't.
Not
I
yet.
was about to ask you the same question.
Okay.
I'm assuming it'll be Sunday, but we're hoping it's Saturday. I'd like to take Sunday off.
You want Saturday, even though Oklahoma State's had an extra day?
I don't care at this point of the season. Play. Just tell us to play. We're going to play. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.